everybody, today I am going to show you in this video 5 days of carnivore meals. I'm Anita from ketogenicwoman.com, where I share keto and carnivore recipes and other cooking ideas that have helped me to lose over 145 pounds. If you're new here, I welcome you. I hope you check out some of my other videos. And for those of you returning, welcome back. I hope you like today's video. Okay, so one of the questions I get asked most often is, what do you eat on a carnivore diet? Isn't it boring? Isn't it restrictive? How do you just eat the same thing every day? So what you're going to see is 5 days of typical meals. Some of these meals I have on repeat. I have my favorite breakfast that I eat most mornings. Sometimes I just feel like something different and I change it up. I also got a new kitchen tool this week. Well, I should say a new cooking tool this week. And so that shows up in these 5 days. The other thing that showed up in these 5 days, which just actually ended yesterday, is that during the 5-day filming period, I actually came down with a really bad bug. And so I had to compensate my meals to address that. And so it's a very realistic 5 days of what I eat. And I hope that you enjoy seeing what it is that I do to keep it simple and to lose weight. Okay, I am going to make my first meal of the day. This is one of my favorites. I have it quite often, and that is steak and eggs. I'm going to start by melting some tallow in the frying pan. I use the Carnivore crisp grass-fed beef tallow. Normally I just use leftover steak, but today I have some fresh raw steak that I want to use up. I just like to get them seared on all sides a bit. I tend to keep this still medium rare to rare inside. Add in a couple of eggs, some Redmond sea salt. This is the smoked cherry. I like it on steak. Fast and easy on my plate, and I'm good to go. Okay, so my second meal of the day was pretty simple. Leftover ribs. These are the ribs that I smoked on my new Traeger grill. So this is my very first time ever smoking anything, and I am very excited. I can hardly wait to do more experiments like this. Okay, I'm starting off with some beef tallow in my pan. I'm going to be making eggs and leftover pork ribs in here. The meat on these pork ribs is going to turn out nice and crispy like a fatty ham. Okay, my breakfast is almost ready. I've done my eggs and my pork here, and one more thing to add. And I want to talk about this for a second. What you're going to see this week when in my 5 days of meals is that I am now including a lot more seafood than what I ever used to before. And I've done this at the encouragement of both Kelly Hogan in her coaching groups. She gets some of her ideas like that from Danny Conway. They are both big on getting those omega-3s in. And, for someone my age, I think it's really important to do that. So I will be including today a can of salmon with this breakfast, and this will keep me fueled, until dinner time. I'm doing 2 meals a day these days, and so, it's a lot of protein in one shot, because these cans have about 50 grams of proteins. And I seem to be doing quite well with this 2 meals a day, trying to get, you know, my protein up. So first I just need to drain it. These are for the dogs. They love this. And the cat downstairs also loves it. So if you have a cat or dogs, they can get their omega-3s as well. But this is pretty much, I do this quite often now, just a can of salmon on my plate. It is delicious. I like it just like that. And so here's my first meal of the day. Some Redmond salt completes it. And there we go.
Come on, guys, look, Pippi, over here. Okay, Pippi, there's yours. I've gone over to finish some of Pippi's, and now Pippi's like, wait a minute, that's mine.
Part of my daily routine is getting out 1, 2, maybe 3 times a day if I can, to see some sun and nature. It's important to anchor your circadian rhythm and just for general health and well-being. It's also a good time for me to drink my electrolytes. I use Element. I find that Element is one of the ones that I've always liked the best. It contains everything you need, your sodium, your potassium, and your magnesium. Science-backed formula. I try to get a couple in a day these days, especially since I've changed my macros a bit. I find that anytime I make changes, it can throw my electrolytes out of whack. So yeah, so I really, you know, I choose Element for that. Right now, Element is offering to my viewers their 8-flavor sample pack. Contains all 8 of their regular flavors. And to get one, you just have to order something from their website, and that will be on the screen. It will also be below. It's drinklmnt.com/ketogenic woman. Get out there, get some nature, drink your electrolytes. Thank you, Element, for sponsoring my video today. Okay, tonight for dinner I am going to have some burgers. This is my favorite beef burgers from Costco. I am making 3 large burgers, about 200 grams each, because that's a 600 gram package. I'm going to do it in the air fryer. I usually do about 400 degrees. I'm adding a little bit of Redmond's barbecue spice. Okay, I'm putting the burgers in, but I am not putting the shrimp in yet. I'm going to do that towards the end. I'm going to try out the Redmond's chili lime seasoning. I think it'll taste fantastic on the shrimp. I'm also going to have half a can of cod livers with my dinner. And so usually what I do is I just split the can into 2, you know, roughly equal parts, and put one half away in the fridge for tomorrow. So I'm just adding the shrimp in. They only take a couple of minutes to cook. I'm resetting the air fryer option on here to cook for 2 more minutes. And there's my delicious dinner. So, good morning everyone. This is basically a repeat from yesterday. I am frying up some ribeye steak and having 3 eggs with it, and I fried it in tallow. Like I said, one of my favorite breakfasts. Okay, so I want to talk about this quick roast. Here in Canada, we have these things called quick roast, and it's exactly how it sounds. You can cook it quick, and my favorite way to do it is in the sous vide. And I will do this the night before I plan to have it, so that I can then slice it up and have it for a couple of days. So I basically take the roast, add my salt and white pepper rub to it, And I get a good coating on because when you sous vide, a lot of the flavoring gets lost. So I like to put a lot of the salt and pepper on it, wrap it up as airtight as possible, and then I will sous vide it for 4 hours only at 127. So that gives it to me just the way I like it. If you don't like it as rare as mine, you can go a lot higher on that temperature. But this is different from a regular sirloin tip roast. A regular sirloin tip roast needs to be done for 18 to 24 hours. The quick roast is melt in your mouth tender after 4 hours. If you can find it, the only place I've ever been able to find it is at Walmart in their meat department, so check there. Here is my roast, what it looks like the next day. I took it out after 4 hours last night and put it in the fridge. I'm going to slice it nice and thin. And, you know, this is good for 2 or 3 meals for me this week. The puppies like it too. So for my second meal of the day, I'm going to have a whole lot of this thinly sliced roast beef. I love it cold. I can't remember how much I actually weighed out there. It might have been about half a pound. Half a pound. And I like it with mustard. And I'm going to have the other half of the can of cod livers that I had yesterday. Okay, nice and simple meal that I like to have quite often as well. Boiled eggs, I did those in the Instant Pot. I like them jammy in the middle. So this was 2 minutes with a 2-minute release. And perfect. And a can of salmon. I just really like the fast meal that this makes. Okay, this meal was not what I planned. I found my throat getting sore throughout the day today, and I thought, I know what I need. I need some chicken soup. The only chicken I had in the freezer was this frozen pack of chicken wings. There's a pound in here. So I'm going to do what my mom used to do. She used to make chicken soup with wings and backs and necks, and she would just basically throw it into a pot, rinse them off, and that would just cook all day. Well, I don't have all day, so I'm going to put mine in the Instant Pot. And then later she would, you know, pick out all the bones and all that kind of stuff. And of course she added all the extra stuff to it. I don't want to add much extra to it, so I'm just going to put in a tablespoon of this chicken powder, kind of chicken soup base powder that I have, and the chicken wings, and that is it. That's all that's going in here. Water, of course. To this pound of chicken wings, I've got about 4 cups water. And then hopefully I will just, you know, drink and eat this soup for the next couple of days. There's nothing like chicken soup when you're sick. Okay, the soup is ready. It smells absolutely delicious. I'm just gonna basically scoop some chicken wings into my bowl and some broth. I think this is exactly what I need, feeling under the weather. Nothing like good old chicken soup. There we go. I hope it makes me feel better. Okay, this is the weekend, and the weekend means trays of bacon. And, you know, I've got other people here to feed as well, so I'm making 2 trays of bacon. This tray is double like it's folded over bacon, and the other tray is single layer because one is regular sliced and one is thick sliced. So I'm hoping that they will be ready around the same time, baking it that way. I usually bake it at 375, and sometimes it can take an hour depending on the bacon. And look at that, perfectly crispy, just the way I like it. Don't forget to save those pan drippings. This is free cooking materials. This is like liquid gold. Yum, that was really good. Okay, so I decided I was going to try another smoke on my new Traeger grill. This is a big chuck roast that has been smoking for about 4 hours. It's now time to wrap it up and let it smoke wrapped up for another hour. And then I'll be cutting it into chunks to make burnt ends. Okay, so here's the burnt ends. So what I did was I cut up that chuck roast. Those are mine in the middle. They are plain. That's a ribeye steak on the left side. In the big pan, I mix those with barbecue sauce for the rest of the family. So they will enjoy that. I can't do tomato-based sauces, so the plain ones I get. Everyone loved them. They were delicious. So that was my 5 days of meals on Carnivore. These days I'm doing pretty much 2 meals a day, and that's working out well for me. And I am back to a losing streak a bit, I would say, which you will find out about at the end of the month when I report my results. But other than that, if you have any questions about what you saw, if you want to find out more, please check out my channel where you will see everything that I've been doing for the last, 2-3 years on as far as like how I'm eating, what my philosophy is, how things are going, all of that stuff. I hope that I see more of you in the future, and tune in for my next video.
Action. I have to let go of some anger first. I'm gonna use that.